Alright, I'm going to talk to you about how to solve multiplication and division equations. So this is a multiplication equation right here, and the way that we solve multiplication equations is you do the opposite operation. Well, actually, the way you solve any equation is you do the opposite operation. Sorry, I'm trying to move this up a little bit. And so to solve any equation, you do the opposite operation. Well, since this is a multiplication equation, we are going to divide to solve that. So just to refresh your memory, the purpose in algebra is to get the variable by itself. So it says x is equal to our answer. Okay? And in algebra, you have two sides of the equation, and your equal sign is what splits it up. You've got your left side and your right side, and the idea is that you keep both sides balanced. 2/3 times some number x is equal to 1/4, and whatever you do to one side of an equation, you have to do to the other side. That's how you keep it balanced. So since x is being multiplied by 2/3, and I know this is going to look a little bit funny, but we're going to say we're going to divide it by 2/3, okay? Because x is being multiplied by 2/3, to get rid of this 2/3 right here, I'm going to divide this side by 2/3. Well, I'm also going to divide this side by 2/3, and I know that this isn't probably the best way to write this. You know, you could also show it this way, just to show that you're doing the same thing to both sides. But just in terms of helping you guys understand, that's why I'm going to write it this way, okay? Just to show that we're dividing both sides by 2/3. Now, all this cancels out. Times 2/3 divided by 2/3 cancels out, leaving me with x is equal to 1/4 divided by 2/3. Well, remember, the way we divide fractions is we multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. We keep the 1/4. We change this to multiplication, and we're going to flip the 2/3 so that it is 3/2. Once we have a problem like this, we can multiply pretty simply just by multiplying straight across. 1 times 3 is 3, 4 times 2 is 8, so the answer is 3/8. So x is equal to 3/8. So that means that 2/3 times 3/8 is equal to 1/4. Alright? In this example here, we have 5m is equal to 3/7. That means 5 times some number is equal to 3/7. So again, we have both sides of our equation. I'm going to divide this side by 5, so it cancels out. But I'm going to divide this side by 5 too. And I'm not going to show it that same way. I'm going to put it this way, okay? So I'm left with m is equal to 3/7 divided by 5. So I'm going to put a 1 over here underneath this 5, just so that we keep them as fractions. And again, we don't divide, we multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to keep, change, flip, and that's a K, it kind of looks like an R. I'm going to keep, change, flip. So this is 3/7 times 1/5. That is us multiplying by the reciprocal. Okay? Now I can just multiply straight across. 3 times 1 is 3, 7 times 5 is 35, so m is equal to 3/35. Alright, next example, we have 1 1/2 m is equal to 4/5. So to solve for m, I got to get rid of this 1 1/2. So I'm going to divide by 1 1/2. And I'm going to divide over here, that looks funny, by 1 1/2. It's very important that you put the 1 1/2 over here and you don't try to squeeze it in over here, because if you don't, you're going to end up flipping the wrong fraction. You'll flip this fraction, and that's not the one that we want the reciprocal for. It's also important that you show all these steps. Even though you know what you're doing when you're dividing by 1/2 over here, it's still important that you show it. It just helps everything straight. Then it also helps if you miss it for me to be able to look back and tell you what it is that you did wrong. So I know that you think it's probably ridiculous to show all these steps, but it's really important that you show all this work, okay? So we're going to divide by 1 1/2, and that cancels out over there, leaving us with an m right here is equal to 4/5 divided by 1 1/2. Well, before I can do anything here, I need to make sure that they are both written as fractions. So I've got 4/5 divided by, I'm going to rewrite 1 1/2. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, so this is 3/2. Now I can keep, change, flip, so that I have 4/5 times 2/3, which when I multiply, I'm going to move this m down again. So when I multiply here, 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 3 is 15. So the answer is m is equal to 8/15. Now division really isn't any different because it's the same idea. Again, you want to get the k by itself, so I got to get rid of this divided by 3/4. So what we're going to do is we're going to do times 3/4. Remember, the bold dot like this means to multiply. So I'm going to do times 3/4 over here. This all cancels out, leaving us with k is equal to 2/3 times 3/4. So if you remember this, we can cross simplify here. 3 and 3 are both divisible by 3. 2 is divisible by 2. 4 is divisible by 2. So now when I multiply, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So k is equal to 1/2. And the last example I'm going to show you is x divided by 1 and 1/2 is equal to 2 and 2/5. Okay? We're going to multiply both sides by 1 and 1/2. And so this all cancels out, because again, that's how we're getting the x by itself. If x is being divided by 1 and 1/2, I'm going to multiply by 1 and 1/2. But I got to do it over here as well. Okay? So I'm left with x is equal to 2 and 2/5 times 1 and 1/2. So let me write this as an improper fraction. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. So this is 12 over 5 times 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So this is going to be a 3 over 2. When I multiply, I end up with 36 over 10, which, yes, you could have simplified here if you wanted to ahead of time. So we can simplify this. This simplifies to 18 over 5. I'm dividing by 2. Each of the numerator and the denominator, dividing them by 2 gives me 18 over 5. And so I can simplify this even more. 5 goes into 18 3 times. I have a remainder of 3. I'm running out of room, sorry. So it is 3 and 3/5. So x, just because I'm running out of room, is 3 and 3/5. So we're going to write it as a mixed number if possible. Okay.